consciousness, for administering the zones. What exactly you were not agreeing with?
Well, it was the whole profile I didn't agree with. I remember telling Tamal, why are you changing who you are? You remain who you are. You're Tamal Krishna Maharaj. And now you simply have another service, which is to initiate. We used to do the initiations on a regular basis. I mean, I would chant on beads. We would pick the names. We would give the beads on behalf of Prabhupada. Now, Prabhupada's not here. Just continue doing that. Don't become Guru Dev. Don't take, this false profile of, being like Prabhupada. And he said, you do not understand Guru Tattva. So, I thought we should have waited a year at least before we made deep decisions about how to continue the initiations. Prabhupada had only left a few months earlier. And why immediately? But Kirtananda Maharaj, and he's very dear to me. He's passed away. I have greatest respect for him. But before we even had the GBC meeting in February, this would be December of 1977, he was already initiated. And so we didn't take time to grieve, to let the dust settle, to think deeply about the huge spiritual issues and protocols that we were dealing with. I disagreed with that. I disagreed with the profiles. I disagree with...
sorry, but just for our viewers and listeners, especially those who did not have any experience about the Zonal Acharya days, what do you mean by profile?
Well, first of all, it was advertised that they were now pure devotees. What? God bless them. I have the highest respect for them. They were all more advanced than I was, but pure devotees? So, and then, sitting on Vyasasanas that were practically the same as, all the things that were gradually changed in 1987. And then, creating a different class of devotee. We already had sannyasis, brahmachari, we had different designations within Iskcon. And, and that was working out okay. It had growing pains, needed some work and adjustment. But, they were like, those 11 became, more than demigods. I disagreed with that. I don't want to criticize. I did criticize them a little at the time, but, I don't mean to pass judgment on them. They're all more advanced than I am. But I'm just telling you, I disagreed with it.
Thank you. Now,
I wasn't the only one. In the beginning, 1978, 1979, it was a period of adjustment. And so you really couldn't say too much, even privately. But I could say it on the GBC because that was confidential. And I could speak to my godbrothers, which was confidential. So as I told you, I did that. But for a number of years, it was orthodoxy and it was heresy. It was heretical. Pradumya was driven out of the movement for saying those things. For even implying that one of the 11 might not be a pure devotee. You could be, excommunicated.
You can please remind the listeners and the viewers who was Pradyumna Prabhu.
Well, Pradyumna was very dear to Prabhupada. He was an older devotee. None of us were old in those days, age-wise, but he had been one of the original devotees. Pradyumna Prabhu was a pillar, part of the foundation of the Hare Krishna movement. He was Prabhupada's Sanskrit scholar. Prabhupada personally, he was very intelligent. He was very intelligent, very scholarly, and Prabhupada had chosen him to be the Sanskrit scholar of Iskcon. And he was ordered to translate the Bhagavad Gita. I mean, the Srimad Bhagavatam. And he, early on, publicly objected to high Vyasa-sans. There was a big issue called simultaneous Guru Puja, where the Guru Puja would be performed in the temple room for one of the 11 gurus simultaneously with Prabhupada. To say that simultaneous Guru Puja with Prabhupada was not proper, you could get thrown out of the movement for that. So Pradyumna was, the GBC met, and we didn't call it excommunication, but they, I don't know what you would call it. We used to call it threw him out of the temple. Fortunately, Ridhana Maharaj is also a great scholar of Sanskrit, and he completed the Srimad Bhagavatam, but originally that task was to Pradyumna.